Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in, coming to see me on today. It's Tamaya at Maya's Minute. My husband and I just celebrated our anniversary 2 days ago, so I told myself, you know what, Tamaya, you have to go on and drop these ladies some gems, all right? Anniversary is a big deal. That means we made it through another year without killing each other. No, I'm just joking. But we made it through another year, and we celebrate marriages here, and we celebrate anniversaries here. We celebrate longevity and marriages staying strong and long. So I jotted down some tips, and I have so many, but I'm just going to talk about three on today. I'm going to give you three tips that I feel like are super, super important in your marriage relationship. So number one is respect. Now, I know a lot of you might be thinking like it's love, and yeah, he needs love, but in my mind, I think respect is up there with food and sex. And y'all probably like, what? Yeah, he needs food to sustain himself every day. Yeah, he actually needs the sex. Yeah. Y'all probably like, Tamaya, what are you talking about? Like, yeah. Before I got married, one of my spiritual moms, like, she pulled me to the side and she was like, look, they need it. And I was kind of confused. And she was like, yeah. So she gave me this whole little rundown on how their bodies are and blah, blah, blah. So I didn't come to talk about that right now, but respect is up there with that. Like he needs that. And that includes like his ideas. Respect his ideas. When he shares something with you, when he has something to say, stop and listen to what he's saying. Respect his choices. When he makes a decision for the family, for the children, respect it. Don't always undermine him or say, well, I would have done this, I would have done, sometimes it may not be what you would have done, but he has to feel that freedom in that relationship, that he has that option to, to make a choice without you, without you being upset about it, or without you, giving your input, so to speak. And respect his authority, especially when it comes to children. Those of you who have young children, like, children can be master manipulators. And I'm sorry for calling them manipulators, but for lack of a better term, but I have them, four of them, and I work with them every day. So I know how they operate. They can be master manipulators. So an example would be if a child comes and they go to dad first and they ask dad something and dad says no. And then they're going to ease their way over to you to ask you, well, mom, can I? And then you might go and say, well, yes. But the thing to do is not to say the opposite of what dad already said. What I try to tend to do is, because sometimes I know they might be trying to play a little game, sometimes I'll ask them, did you ask dad already? And sometimes it's yes, so if they already asked dad, it's what did he say? What did he already say? You don't go behind him and change what he already said, because that's undermining his authority. And it also, in the children's eyes, makes it like, okay, what dad said is not, because he said one thing, but then mom said this, and it creates a whole confusion. Not only does it create confusion for you and your husband, it creates a confusion in the mind of the child, because he knows now he can manipulate. He can come and have his way. And I'm saying he, I guess, because I'm a boy mom. I only have sons, so it's she, he, whichever you have, sons or daughters, same rule applies. All right. Number two is forgive. I know that might be a hard thing to do sometimes, because marriages, man, it's two people in one space. It's two people occupying one space on one mission, one goal. And guess what? You each have your own mind. You have your own thoughts. You have your own feelings. And you're going to get on his nerves, and he is going to get on your nerves. I remember before I got married, another one of my spiritual moms told me, one day you're going to wake up and be like, who is this? She literally told me that. She said, one day you're going to wake up and you're going to look at him and be like, who is this that I married? I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. But the point is, you are going to get on one another's nerves a lot. So you have to be able to forgive. You gotta, in the words of my pastor, he told us, you gotta empty the file cabinet. So you will have to let stuff go. Now, how often you have to do that, I'm not sure. That depends on you and your relationship, but it may be monthly, it may be weekly, it may be daily for some of you. Like, you know, it's almost like you got to take an inventory of, of, you know, and think like, am I mad at him about something? Or did he do something that I didn't like and we didn't talk about it? Or I haven't been able to let it go yet, because it can be very subtle. Sometimes you won't really realize it's there. But what will happen is you'll tend to look at him in a certain way. Or when he's talking, you'll be like in your mind under your breath, like, you know, like having this little funky attitude. Or you'll start to not respect him as much as you should. But it's because, more than likely, it's because you have something in there that you haven't forgiven him about and you haven't let it go. So it's it'll start to manifest itself in different ways. So just be careful and look out for those things. All right. So remember, empty the file cabinet. Let it go. All right. Number 3 is be selfless. Now, I know in today's culture that sounds counterintuitive, because as women, we have been trained and we have been conditioned to think like, oh, the man is supposed to spoil us, and he's supposed to cater us, and he's supposed to, you know, like make us feel like a queen. And he is, and he does. But are you willing to do the same? Are you willing to reciprocate? Are you willing to make him feel special? Are you willing to make him feel appreciated? Does he feel like he is your number one option? He's your number one choice? Does he feel like you are his number one fan? So yes, we want those things from him. We want him to spoil us and love us and cater to us and all that stuff. But we have to be willing to reciprocate. We have to be selfless, because we come into a marriage oftentimes like, oh, what can he do for me, or what can I get? But ultimately it should be, what can I give? What can I do to make my husband's day better? What can I do to put a smile on his face? What can I do to make his day go a little smoother? What can I do to push him further towards his goal, what he's trying to get to, what he's trying to accomplish? Like, what can I do to help him get there? Those should be your thoughts on a daily basis. So those are my 3 tips. I'm going to one more time recap. I talked about respect was number 1. Number 2 was forgive, empty that file cabinet. And number 3 was be selfless. So those are my tips. I have so much more. So I might do a part 2 of this anniversary edition, because I got so many things that I just want to share with you ladies. Because listen, my goal here is to help you keep a strong marriage and stay married and stay loving one another. Okay, so I'm gonna go for now. This has been Tamaya and at Maya's Minute. And if I said anything that you found useful, you found helpful, and you went please hit the like button. Also, please subscribe to my channel, and you'll get a notification every time I post a video. And lastly, leave me a comment. I do read the comments. And also share the video. Share it with your girlfriends. If they are married, or if they are not married, they will be married one day, maybe. So share it with them, at least 3. So think of 3 people that you can share it with, and do me a favor and share. So share, like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I'm out for now, okay? Love y'all. See you later.